Hello everyone, in this video we'll be seeing about accessing and looping through array elements. Let's get started. First we'll be learning about the accessing part, then we'll move on to the looping part. We can access the array elements using the following syntax, and here the index value specifies the position of an element in the array, and it is also an expression whose value is a non-negative integer lesser than the size of the array. In Java, we have the set of square brackets, which is an operator called as the array subscripting operator. Consider the following example. This statement declares an array called age, and that will be having 10 elements. Let's see an example to understand how we can access array elements. Here we are creating an array called age of integer data type, and that is having 5 elements. Then we are printing the set of statements. As you can see in the output, the line first element is printing the value of first element from this array. That is possible by accessing the elements using the index value. In Java, we can also loop through each element of the array. First, we'll see how it can be done using the for loop. We are creating an array called age of integer data type with 3 elements. Then we are printing out the statement. Inside the for loop, we have this variable called I of integer data type whose initial value is equal to 0. The condition is that the value of I should be lesser than the value of this array called age. Until that condition is satisfied, the value of I will be incremented by 1. So with each execution of this loop, the value of I keeps increasing. So when the value of I is 0, the element at the 0th index will be printed. When the value of I is 1, the element at the first index, which is 3, will be printed, and it goes on. This will be the output. Let's see how the same program can be done with the help of for each loop. Again, we are creating the same array called age and printing the statement, and then inside the for each loop, we are having this variable I of integer data type, and that is able to access each of the elements from this array age, and then it is printed. This will be the output. Now let's see another example to understand how we can compute the sum and average of array elements. Here we are creating the array called numbers, and that is of integer data type, and it's having 5 elements. Then we are creating a variable called sum of integer data type, and its value is equal to 0. Then another variable called average of double data type is created. Inside the for each loop, we have a variable called number of integer data type. In the previous program, we had the variable called I, and here we are having the variable called number. So this variable can access each element from this array called numbers. It keeps taking the values from this array and it stores them inside this variable called sum. With each execution of this loop, the value of sum will keep changing. Now we are done with finding the sum. Let's move on to finding the average. For that part, we are creating a variable called array length, and this is again of the integer data type. This is storing the length of numbers array. To find the value of average, we are taking the value of sum and dividing it with the length of this array. Both of these belong to the double data type. With that, we print the values of sum and average. This is the output. We have come to the end of this video. Stay tuned for new videos. Until then, signing off. Thank you for watching.